Today, we're going to talk you through the 10 most disrespected players in the world. More and more, players are getting disrespected with every match, and with social media entering the fray, fans have more avenues to share toxic opinions and find others that agree with them. A lot of the time, though, to ever set foot on a pitch. Ronaldo and Messi. You'd think that cementing your name in the history books of the world's biggest stages would at least earn you some respect, but with Ronaldo and Messi, that couldn't be further from the truth. Every year, these guys prove just how good they are. Their longevity in the sport is enviable, and they continue to carry their current clubs on their backs. They have made unbroken records, and continue to lead the pack in ways that just make them comparable to gods. Regardless, the disrespect remains. Almost always, both players are placed at loggerheads, with fans and officials alike asked to pick the best of the duo, like there's something wrong with admitting both players are the best to ever do it. God forbid Ronaldo and Messi win and convert a penalty. They're immediately reduced to penaldo and pesi, regardless of how they affected the game. Messi won the World Cup and was labelled a short Argentine fraud, with many disrespecting his achievements as favouritism from FIFA. Ronaldo, on the other hand, is called a tap-in merchant who moved to an easier league to pad his stats. Simply horrific. Another player getting the Ronaldo treatment is Erling Haaland. The Norwegian lit up the Premier League in his debut season, setting and breaking records that dwarf the performances of other top players in the league. Yet, did he get his due adulations? Hardly. Instead, like Ronaldo, he was called a tap-in merchant who hardly had any effect on the game, besides sitting higher up and waiting to be fed the delicious passes of Kevin De Bruyne. Fans seem to forget that players stick to the plans of their coaches. Given that Pep Guardiola is one of the strictest managers around, Haaland was simply following instructions. But that aside, what makes a tap-in a poor quality goal compared to Son's iconic strike against Burnley? Sure, it's not a visual spectacle, but it's simple enough and gets the job done, no? The height of Haaland's disrespect came at the end of the season when he missed out on winning the Ballon d'Or and the Best FIFA Men's Player award. If Ronaldo or Messi had replicated the magic Haaland created in his debut season, they'd be running away with both awards, no questions asked. Yet another player that gets flack from fans is a former teammate of Haaland's, Jude Bellingham. Few footballers have enjoyed the dramatic rise to stardom that the Englishman has. From playing in the lower leagues with Birmingham City to becoming the youngest captain to lead one of the Bundesliga's most decorated teams, Jude Bellingham has had a meteoric rise in football. This explosive growth was further capped by Real Madrid going all out to land the signature of the English talent. Bellingham would hit the ground running immediately, scoring great goals and clutch goals, and easily rising to the top of the scoring charts in the league that has the likes of Lewandowski, a reborn Morata, and a high-flying Girona side. However, despite seemingly being in the best form of his life and being a consistent performer from teenagehood until now, Bellingham is still regarded as a tap-in merchant who brings nothing special to the table. Of course, the disrespect can be explained. Rival fans simply can't handle yet another thriving Galactico in an already frightening Los Blancos side. Sticking with midfielders, arguably the most disrespected player on this list is ex-Southampton skipper James Ward-Prowse. He bends it like Beckham and is lethal from corners, but guess what? Gareth Southgate doesn't think he's good enough for the England squad, only the same team that called up Calvin Phillips. The English hype seems to improve or bloat the stock of every Englishman who can kick a ball, except Ward-Prowse. And when you check the stats, it couldn't be more wrong. He's a consistent performer who's played every minute of football for 2 back-to-back seasons, the first to ever do it. He's also a single free-kick goal behind Beckham in the charts and has one of the best set-piece conversion rates in the league since 2003. Who else deserves massive respect, you ask? How about Keylor Navas? The Costa Rican goalie gets too much disrespect. It's just sad. Worse still, he isn't just disrespected by fans, but also club and football bodies alike. For example, in Real Madrid, Thibaut Courtois is considered a bigger Los Blancos legend than Navas. That doesn't even make sense, considering Navas had to fill the shoes of one of the best goalies in the world at the time, Iker Casillas. And he performed splendidly, helping Real Madrid to 3 UCL trophies. But instead, he was treated like a stopgap solution, as Real Madrid tried to replace him with David De Gea and failed. Then he was shipped off to France, where he helped PSG reach the UCL final in 2020. Then, like with Real Madrid, he got dropped for a shinier new goalie and was sent on loan to the dredges of the EPL with Nottingham Forest, a club battling relegation at the time. Now, upon returning to France, the Champions League winning goalie now sits on the bench of a club that has not even so much as touched the trophy in its lifetime. Another goalie with similar levels of disrespect is Manchester City's Ederson. For someone who's made it a habit to concurrently win one of the biggest, toughest leagues in the world, Ederson can't seem to get a break from fans. His goalkeeping skills are questioned at every turn, and he's only considered a good goalie because he's surrounded by better players. But that's hardly true, considering that City have had defensive problems for the better part of 2 seasons now, which has been largely overshadowed by their very potent attack. Ederson was particularly instrumental in City lifting their first UCL trophy, putting in a performance comparable to Courtois in the 2022 UCL final. But what did he get for completing the treble? He was left out of the FIFA Pro World 11, replaced by Thibaut Courtois, who conceded more UCL goals and league goals in the same season. It's mental. Moving to the red part of Manchester, one player who gets disrespected for arguably the wrong reason is Manchester United's Lisandro Martinez. The Argentine won the World Cup and turned around a nightmarish debut season in time to become a fan favourite. Yet, all we ever seem to hear about the guy is his height. This disrespect began with critics, who couldn't believe United would splash the cash on a shorter centre-back in a league rife with beanpole players. However, when you start to look at it, Martinez isn't exactly Hashbullah. He's 5'9" and a full head taller than the shortest players in every team in the EPL. You want to see an even shorter defender? Look no further than Brighton's Tariq Lamptey. Martinez is even taller than fellow United player Amad Diallo, but no one seems to put that into perspective. Even more mind-blowing is Martinez's aerial prowess, which just makes the disrespect sound silly. Still at Manchester United, a player who gets disrespected for yet another silly reason is Bruno Fernandes. The current Manchester United skipper is regarded as a serial whiner and complainer who can't go 90 minutes without a tantrum. While that might be true, it doesn't detract from the fact he's one of the best midfielders in the league, globally too. He's been one of the more consistent performers in an otherwise inconsistent United side. Debuting for the club in 2020, Bruno has hit the ground running, exploding onto the first team under Ole and being one of the first teams on the sheet under every other coach since. It's no surprise that he already captains the United side merely 4 years into his spell at the club. He's a talented player with an amazing free kick, penalty and power shot skills that make him a terrifying opponent. Need we talk about his silky passing skills and risque chance creations that opponents struggle to predict? Put some respect on this man's name. Sticking to the EPL for our final and most disrespected player, look no further than Trent Alexander-Arnold. The Anfield man can't seem to catch a break from fans and critics, who can't help but find errors in everything he does. Trent belongs to the current crop of pacey attacking wingbacks, like United's Diogo Dalot, Bayern's Alphonso Davies and Leverkusen's Jeremy Frimpong, who are wingers cosplaying in defence. These players are more regarded for their attacking output rather than their defensive duties, but Trent seems to be the only one catching flack for this. Many have called him to be axed until he gets his act together. The disrespect wasn't helped when Klopp decided to play Trent as an inverted midfielder. All in all, everyone seems to be overreacting to a player with similar skill sets to Roberto Carlos, who is considered a legend of the sport for his marauding runs upfield, great passing skills and explosive set pieces. That doesn't sound too different from Trent Alexander-Arnold, does it? So why does he get disrespected more? If you loved this video, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss any new uploads. See you in the next one.